Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about my monthly beauty favorites. I have quite a few, and what I like to do is apply as many of the products onto my face as possible, and I'll cut away to those clips so you can see the products actually in action. But I wanted to start with a few like are they all body products? I have one body product, I have one perfume, and I have one candle. The candle that is burning right behind me. If you guys watched my most recent luxury haul when I went shopping at the Wynn, there is a diptyque boutique. I love that that rhymes. There's a diptyque boutique at the Wynn there, and I stopped in because Diptyque came out with this French cafe, I think that's what it's called, the French cafe collection, where they came out with 4 new and I believe limited edition, possibly, candle scents, and I love coffee. I was trying to think of a more eloquent way of putting that. I just love coffee. I love coffee. I love the smell of coffee. I love drinking coffee in the mornings. I love drinking decaf coffee the rest of the day. And they came out with a coffee candle. And this coffee candle is so good. It's so true to like coffee just brewing like a coffee house. And I've always struggled trying to find coffee candles because they always smell very, very sweet. They always smell like a mocha latte or caramel macchiato. I have no idea what a macchiato is, but you know, like one of those kind of sweet, creamy, flavored, really like rich sort of drinks. That's what any coffee candle that I've gotten, that's what it smells like. Not that I'm opposed to it, but I really wanted something that was a little bit truer to just like drip black coffee. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It has maybe a little bit of spice in there. Like if you were to add some of your favorite spices into the coffee before you started brewing it, like it has that essence to it. I love it. I love this candle so much. And in fact, if this is limited edition, I definitely have to get some backups. I did get the biscuit candle from this collection as well, which is a candle that they came out with for one of their holiday collections. That is also magnificent. But this candle is so good, and I've been burning it nonstop. I'm about halfway done with it. Oh my God, it's so good. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it burning back here. And in terms of throw, I will say that it took a little bit for this candle to get going. You know, sometimes you have to kind of get through that first layer and then like the fragrance really starts to come out. Very true for this candle. I started burning it in my kitchen, which has very high ceilings. It's a very kind of big room, open room. And I was like, you know, I just don't feel like the throw of this is really great. So I brought it into this area where I actually have my coffee maker. It's, you know, it's a much smaller area. The ceilings are just as high, but I moved it in there and then all of a sudden I could smell it out into the kitchen and everywhere. And I thought, oh, I just needed to give it some more time. So I brought it back out into my kitchen and now, I mean, I can smell it everywhere. It's so delicious. So delicious. So that is my #1 favorite from this past month. And I have another favorite from Diptyque. It is their smoothing body polish. This was another thing that I purchased at the same time I got this candle. And, I talked about how much I really, really love their smoothing body polish, but it was gone or discontinued for a long while because I probably first used it maybe a year ago, and then it was just gone. I couldn't find it anywhere. It was sold out everywhere. And then I had heard rumors that it was like discontinued, and I was just so upset because as much as I love Diptyque, I think this is probably their best product. It is the best body exfoliator ever, and I love body exfoliators, and I love them especially in the summertime when you know, more of my skin is showing. So the fragrance, as you would expect, it being a Diptyque product, the fragrance is incredible. It's light, it's kind of floral, it's kind of sweet, but it really smells very spa-like. It's very, it's bright. It's not, I don't want to say it's like invigorating, like a mint or citrus, but it's very bright. It's very, very happy. There are the best bits in here. They are very, very effective, but I don't feel like I'm tearing up my skin. So that's what we want, right? In an exfoliator. Something that's effective, but not too rough. But I think what I really love about this product, and I don't know if you can tell. So this is like it's like a spongy paste. That's the best way that I can describe it. When you take it out, it's almost like it's foamy, but then it's so dense. So like a little bit goes a long way. Like you can spread out quite a bit and you can see that the gritty bits, very generous, very, very generous. And I don't know, maybe I love this too because it kind of looks like vanilla and vanilla bean. But the gritty bits are very generous, so you don't really need a lot of this product because it is a really dense kind of base, and you'll end up kind of like spreading it out over a very large surface area. So anyway, I can't sing the praises of this enough. It is absolutely divine. And then before we get into my favorite makeup of the month, I just have to mention this parfum. I don't know why I'm keeping it in the box. I use it and then I put it back in the box. I don't usually do that with perfume. I don't know why I'm doing that. Anyway, here is the bottle, and I have been wearing this ever since this was sent to me. So a big thank you to Parfums de Marly for this. This is called Perseus, by the way. That's the name of this EDP. Now, I get the feeling, I mean, by the looks of this bottle and like at first sniff, I do think it's probably a little bit more, typically masculine than it is feminine. But once it settles down and it settles in, it warms up a little bit, you start to smell some of the citrus. And then later on, I mean, we're talking like a couple hours later, I feel like you will start to smell the fragrance that I think Parfums de Marly is probably most well known for, is that Delina fragrance. All of a sudden, you'll start to smell like a little bit of that sweetness. It is so interesting, and I've never ever worn a fragrance that has transformed so entirely, like over the course of a few hours. Usually I feel like you kind of smell a little bit of all of the notes in the beginning, some kind of stick out a little bit more, whatever, and then you're kind of just end with the base note. This just does like a whole 180 as you're wearing it, and I love it. I love the like journey that it takes you on. It is really, really nice, and I think it's perfect. I mean, I would wear this all year round, but I do think it's perfect for the summertime because it does have that brightness to it, because there is like a strong like citrus note in there. So I'm just on the site, whoops, there's all these pop-ups coming up, and I just wanted to read the olfactive notes for you. So the top notes: bergamot, grapefruit, blackcurrant, bud. Heart notes: vetiver, green mandarin, geranium. I feel like that's what you smell first. And then the base notes: dry woods, cashmere, wood, and ambergris accord. And it definitely has a really nice wear time. I definitely was smelling this when I spray it on in the morning. I definitely smell it on my skin at night, at the end of the day, when I'm in bed. I still smell this. So anyway, this is Perseus from Parfums de Marly. I'm doing it again. I'm putting it back in the box. Why do I keep doing that? Okay, so let's get to my favorite makeup of this past month. There's more than I thought, because I've been getting into like a groove when it comes to makeup. Like I'll pick out a few products, and if I like the final look that I get, I just stick with those products for a while. I've been doing that for a while now. I'm just getting like really comfortable with my makeup style, if you will. But I have a bunch of like new favorites. So anyway, let's start with the foundation. You guys can probably guess the product I'm going to talk about, but this is the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint. I've just been referring to it as the skin tint. So I've been using shade T4, which I think is pretty good. It's pretty good. I have to bring it down a little bit. I'm just mentioning all this in case you use me as like a shade reference. I have to bring it down a little bit on my neck. I think my neck is a little bit paler than the T4, but I think that's fine because I think just naturally my face is a little bit darker than my neck. So it's okay. I just bring it down a little bit. It's the summertime. I'll probably get a little bit of a tan. It's all good. So I've been using T4 and I just love it. I love the texture of it. It's very thin. I don't feel it on my skin. It's very, very weightless. It gives me just enough coverage. But what I think I really love about it is that it's so smoothing and so blurring that I don't feel like I need a ton of coverage when I want like a kind of a perfected look. It's really gorgeous. And I think another thing that I love about it is the consistency of it. I don't think it looks any different at the end of the day as it does when I put it on. It doesn't look any drier. It doesn't look any greasier. It doesn't look like it's faded around my nose anywhere. It is very long lasting. it's long lasting despite it being so light in texture. So it's just fabulous. I really, really love how healthy it makes my skin look, how smooth it makes my skin look, and how radiant I feel like my complexion looks without it just looking, I don't know, shiny or something. I just feel like it looks really healthy. So I like to apply it with a brush. I'll use any sort of foundation brush. Many of you have commented that you like to use your fingers. You get a little bit more coverage when you use your fingers. You'll also use less product because the brush will eat up quite a bit of product. I'm a brush gal. I don't like getting my fingers all up in there. I also don't feel like my fingers are great tools in terms of like smoothing something out. So I really like using a foundation brush. Any kind will do. But this is wonderful. I absolutely love it. The concealer I wanted to mention was actually a concealer I wanted to mention in last month's favorites, and I forgot. So this is the Say Slip Tint Concealer Corrector, something like that. The writing is too small for me to read, but it's the Say Concealer. And I am using shade number 5. And it is what I have around my eyes and a little bit like on my face, you know, my sunspots or whatever. It's just such a great concealer. I would say for a concealer, it has medium coverage, so I think it's very, very natural. I love that it is just a straightforward concealer. It has a very creamy texture. It's not mattifying, it's not glowy, it's just, the finish is just very, very skin-like. And I do have it over the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint. So that's what you see around my eyes. It's just great. It's great. It wears well all day, just like the skin tint. It doesn't fade away, crack, you know, sink into fine lines, all that stuff. It just works beautifully. And I really like how creamy it is because I feel like it's kind of nourishing to my under eyes. My under eyes never feel like dry after I wear this concealer, where some concealers, like if I wear it all day, I'll start to feel like I need to take this makeup off. You know that feeling where you're like, ugh, this makeup needs to come off my face. I don't feel that way. Not with this concealer, not with this skin tint either. So anyway, great combination. Okay, the next product I am just going to mention quickly. I'm also going to whisper because I feel like that makes it all better. But it's the Chanel Le Beige Healthy Glow Sun-Kissed Powder in Light Coral. And I'm being all sheepish about this because it's sold out. It's sold out everywhere. It's sold out so quickly. It's sold out on the Chanel site. It popped up on Nordstrom. It's sold out there. So if I can find it, I'll link it down below. If it does pop up anywhere, please follow me on Instagram. I usually post like new releases or whatever to my Instagram stories. I also do post it on my community tab here in YouTube, but I feel like that gets kind of lost. So anyway, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see in my stories, you know, when like new products come up. But anyway, I really, really, really love this face palette. I do. I love the bronzer, the blush, the highlight, all the products. I find them all to be very neutral, which makes this palette, I think, very, very versatile. So the blush isn't too pink or too peach. The bronze isn't too warm. It's not too cool. The highlight is not gleaming. You know, it's not like super wet. It just gives you a nice like little glisten. So it's just a really beautiful palette, but I'm going to stop talking about it because again, I apologize. I think it's sold out everywhere. Okay, moving on. The bronzer that I have on is the RMS Redimension Hydra Bronzer in Beach Walk Betty. And it is what I have on basically like under my cheekbones, around all over my forehead, kind of across the bridge of my nose and, you know, the freckle area. And then I did bring it down my neck. This is such a fabulous tone. This has a nice red undertone, which I really, really enjoy. And let me do a swatch here. And it just gives me a really beautiful sun-kissed look. It's not orange at all. It's just, it's warm, but it has a red base versus more of like a yellow base. And it also, I don't know if you can see, it has a beautiful satin finish. Now I know a lot of people like matte bronzers, matte contours, all that sort of stuff, because that's what makes sense, you know, if you want to recede those areas of your face. But I just like a satin finish for my entire face. For all the cheek products that I use, I just like a satin finish. I just feel like it looks a little bit healthier. And I just always gravitate towards products that have like a little bit of sheen to them. I just find them prettier. So anyway, this has a gorgeous sheen and I love it. I love it. So that's what I have on my face for a bronzer. Okay, as for blush, surprise, surprise, I only have one product to talk about in terms of blush. Now, I did get a bunch of like cream and liquid blushes that I wanted to just try out a little bit more before I mention in my favorites. The Suku Cream Touch products, I haven't gotten the chance to use them. Maybe like twice I've used them, not enough. And then I bought these Armani Beauty Luminous Silk cheek tints. Same thing, I've used these maybe once or twice outside of my trying new makeup video. Anyway, I just still haven't like really developed an opinion about them. However, one that I did develop an opinion on are the Pat McGrath cream blushes. Now, this is not new, but she came out with 4 new colors, and I love this alluring nude shade. So that is what I have on my cheeks today. And because they came out with these new colors, I tried this formula again, and I was reminded how much I love this cream blush formula. This color is just perfect. It's like the perfect neutral color for me. And I really like that it's not a shimmery product in that there's any sort of reflective bits in there, but it's balmy. So you can see a little bit of shine in there, but it's just like the texture of the product. It's very, very balmy, and it's just pretty. It's so pretty, and my cheeks don't eat it up. Sometimes I have issues with cream products. They just kind of disappear. I think we've all talked about that on this channel, but I don't have that problem with this cream blush product. So again, this shade is Alluring Nude, and there's some super long product name for this, but it's the only cream blush product from Pat McGrath, and it comes in this tube. All right, and highlight, aside from the one that's in here, sorry. I have been really enjoying the Surratt Artistic Liquid Highlight in Lame. That's what I have on my cheeks today. And it took me a while to kind of like figure out how best to use it. I was using my fingers at first, and I didn't really like the finish that it was giving me. It looked a little bit, what's the word? It looked a little chunky, I guess. I was gonna say it looked like unrefined, but it just looked a little bit chunky. However, if I just go straight in with a brush, so I've been using something like this Sonia G mini base brush, and if I just pick up the product with this and then I kind of stamp and pounce the product in, it works like a charm. This is what you end up with. Something that's a little bit glossier and smoother, I think. Again, I'm not great with my fingers. I think some people apply all their makeup with their hands and it looks flawless. I'm not that person, so I really think maybe it's me. Maybe it's me, but anyway, this is the effect that I get with a brush. It's just a really smooth, glossy shine, and I love it. So that's Lame. There are 2 other shades in this liquid highlighter. One is more of a bronzy, one has more of like a cool tone pink color. They're beautiful. I just don't use them that much. The Lame is really great for my skin tone. All right, nothing new for eyebrows, but for eyeshadow, I've got one that just, I can't stop using. I can't stop using this. This is the new Chanel Ombre Essentiel in 236 Brun Talpa. It's the only color that I have on my lids today. It's just the perfect one and done shadow. I love it. And when I first got it, it reminded me a little bit of the Dior Cosmopolite shade, because it has that taupey base and then it has this like silvery reflect. And then in some lights, it looks like there's a little bit of peach in there. It's so beautiful. It's not an exact dupe for Cosmopolite, but it's very similar. And if you like that shade, I think you'll really love this shade. But this is just such a great, again, for my skin tone, a great kind of mid-tone neutral color that I can wear all over my lids. And if I do want to make this a little bit more dramatic, I of course can add like a deeper kind of chocolatey brown. If I want to make it even like more glistening, I can use like more of like a silvery shade and like accent my lids. But I love this, just swept all over. It's an easy eye look. The shade is just gorgeous, and because it has a little bit of reflect, just adding this one shade, I think I get a little bit of dimension. So I can't get enough of it, and it really does wear very, very well. I think like the subtitle to this is that it's, oh yeah, multi-use, long-wearing eyeshadow. It definitely is very, very long-wearing. Never fades away, looks exactly the same at the end of the day. So that is pretty much the eyeshadow that I've been focusing on. I've been playing around with some other ones, but that one, I want to say 90% of the time, I've just been going for that. Easy peasy. The brush, I do want to mention the brush that I've been using with this one and done eyeshadow look is the T6 from Sonia G. It's great. It's a very oversized, big kind of fluffy, it's not a blender brush because it is flat. It's more like a shader brush, but it's very big and fluffy and I kind of use it more as a blender brush. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a brush to hold up to compare this with. Okay, here is the Worker medium brush and here's the T6. So you can see how much bigger it is and how much more it fans out. So I like dipping this brush into the pan straight on with just the tips of the bristles and then focusing that along my lash line, really getting like the depth of the shadow there. And then I'll just kind of start to go up my lid and then I'll turn the brush this way and just start to add a little bit more shadow on the outside. So this is just, it's great. And it's a Sonia G brush. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful to use. The bristles are so, so soft. I love that. And it's great for like any one and done eyeshadow look. All right, and for lips, let's start with what I have on my lips because I love these so much. These are the Armani Beauty Prisma Glass. I think they're called like Prisma Glass High Shine Moisturizing Lip Gloss, like some crazy long name. But I started with this shade number 3, which I think is Honey Glow. It's a really beautiful peach shade. It has a little bit of shimmer in there. So that's Honey Glow. And then I fell in love with that so much, I went out and got 2 more shades. So this one is Amber Shine. I believe it's number 6. Yeah, number 6. That one is Amber Shine. But the one that I can't stop using and the one that I am wearing today is number 4, Nude Glow. That's that guy. And here is the tube. So that is the lip gloss that I have on. I love it. And one of the first things I noticed about this is that it's scent free. I don't smell anything, which is amazing. I love that. It's such an interesting formula because I feel like it goes on so weightlessly, almost like, you want to go back into the tube and like keep applying it. But then as the day goes on, it's almost like it gets more emollient. It gets like it gets thicker a little bit, and not to the point where I'm like, ugh, what's going on with my lips, but just to the point where I feel like, oh, like I have a lip gloss on. So I've never experienced a lip gloss like that where it actually gets fuller as I'm wearing it. Usually it gets absorbed or whatever and I have to like reapply. But there's something about this formula that it starts to grow almost, and it stays on, even at not 100%, but I have a lot left over after I eat. Nothing terribly greasy, and I'm not like, wiping my mouth like 10 million times, but like through a very simple lunch, the lip gloss was still there. It's such an amazing formula. It's just a very interesting and unique formula, and it's just very, very surprising because it's lip gloss. You're like, okay, Michelle, it's lip gloss. How exciting could it be? But it is really different. It really, really is very different. And the shade is gorgeous and it's very comfortable and it does feel very nourishing, etc., etc. So this is my absolute favorite lip gloss at the moment, this Nude Glow. So the other lip product I want to mention was in my life before I got the Nude Glow. It's not a lip gloss, it is a lipstick. It is the Clé de Peau Precious Lipstick. And these are relatively new to the line. I believe there's only 6 colors, and I believe this is number 6. And it is refillable, which is fantastic. This is, let's just talk about the color. It's a really beautiful, like brownish red, but the brown really like kind of comes through on the lips, which to me for a color is very, very unique. Usually these colors end up looking very rusty, if you will, but there's something about these cooler tone reds that Benjamin Pkwy, who's the color director for Clé de Peau, he just, oh my God, he just gets them so right. So these cool tone reds, they don't They don't like warm up or anything. They stay very, very cool toned. It's gorgeous. So this color will look more brown, kind of depending on the rest of my makeup, or it will look like just a straight up like very cool tone red, but it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This color is so incredible. It is truly hard to find a shade like this, I'm telling you. It either ends up looking kind of purple or it ends up looking warmer. And it's very difficult to find a red like this. So anyway, the formula is beautiful. It's like skincare. The more I wore this, the more I really did feel like my lips were benefiting from me wearing this lipstick. So I'm just reading off of the website because I wanted to see if there are any sort of like call out ingredients. But it says it envelops lips in an extraordinary level of sensory luxury. I agree with that. Lips are instantly plumped, contoured, and conditioned with superior skincare benefits, diamonds, and 24 karat gold. Precious jewel tones empower confidence and self-expression. And then it says, let's see, lips appear plumped and smoother after 3 days. I would agree with that. Gem-like radiant finish lasts for 8 hours. Smudge-resistant finish lasts for 8 hours. I don't think I actually noticed like how long it wore for. Delivers 10 hours of lasting moisture. Yeah, my lips felt really, really nourished after wearing this lipstick. And I can't say that for a lot of lipsticks. Like I love my Chantecaille lipsticks. I feel like that is one, but this is another one. This is really a gorgeous, gorgeous formula. And I cannot get over this color, this red color. Okay, I think that's it. Is that it? I feel like I'm always forgetting something. I usually am. If I did, you'll see it in next month's favorites. But anyway, that is it. Please let me know what you've been loving down below in the comment section. I love to hear from you guys. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.